of everything that is normal becoming abnormal.
216-578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007.
Yo quiero pedir que mi negra me quiero, que tenga dinero y que no se muero.
35192 if you want to text for anything, by the way. Roy Wood Jr. is back in Cleveland. His triumphant return after an egregious absence. It's been a good couple of years since he has come, and he's returned to do the weekend at Hilarities, 9:45 tonight.
That's right.
2 shows tomorrow night, 7 and 9:45 with Bill Squire.
Bring your spouse to that Saturday night.
So you can get them
early shows sold out.
You get them early show sold out
on the Saturday show.
You get them all sexed up. Is that the point?
Then Sunday night, bring your side piece.
There you go.
The 7 o'clock dinner in the round show.
You ever seen that before?
Sunday side piece.
Y'all ain't never seen that at a show? Like
No.
a person comes
I've
see
done
you
that
one
at a
night.
show.
I see the same person second show. I gotta act like I ain't see you the night before. Like, oh, it's you again. Oh, wait, no. Hello, stranger.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not a hater.
Right. We were talking about, because of the writer's strike, Roy Wood Jr. would normally be one of your correspondents in The Daily Show and occasionally hosting. But because of that writer's strike, the late night shows aren't happening. Daily Show is not happening. In that rotating cast of people that they did have hosting, was there somebody you saw host and you were like, well, that I'm surprised by them. I'm pleasantly surprised by them. They're all talented people. But in that format, was there somebody where you were like, huh?
Of people who have never done that thing before. So we have to exclude Sarah Silverman, Chelsea Handler, Wanda Sykes, D.L. Hughley, Hassan Minaj. Those guest hosts have all hosted a late night show of some sort over the past 20 years.
Yep.
Leslie Jones was amazing.
Okay.
Leslie Jones was right because like the
But
same
you can drop
passion,
her into anything and she'll kill it, right?
The same passion she has for like say the Olympics when she's live tweeting women's sports and stuff.
Yeah.
And Leslie Jones will just have you watching curling in the Winter Olympics.
Right, because she's so entertaining and so like funny and excited and genuine. She's got a genuineness about her where she's not doing this as a bit. Like she's having a good time. And you get wrapped up in it.
She got me to watch Supermarket Sweep.
See what I'm saying?
She rebooted that show, and I think she had a piece of it, but I was like, she got me to watch that.
So now drop that same level of energy into politics and just stuff happening in the country, and I think you have someone that if I'm running one of these broke ass networks, you broke bitches. If I'm running one of those networks, I would be trying to figure out something that puts Leslie Jones in the chair. Yeah, 1,000%.
I feel bad for Lewis Black though, because he was supposed to finally get his shot to host, and the writer's strike. It was like right around now. It was like mid-June he was going to do it.
But like it's so fitting because that's exactly what would happen
on his. Yeah, that's on brand for him.
Lewis Black.
Poor Lewis.
Look, can I ask y'all a question?
Please.
Because I saw where the rich people went to space today.
Mm-hmm.
The Virgin Atlantic, the Virgin Galactic. There it is.
Yeah.
Where everybody.
Well, they didn't want to go to the underwater again.
Billionaires don't learn. They don't learn.
So now you know where I'm going.
Yeah. Right.
So the people die under the ocean. Unfortunate, sad, fine. I agree with you there. What I have not liked, and I'm just trying to come up with a better word, I do not like that some of the members of the media have been labeling these people as explorers.
Right.
I don't like when you die in a messed up way. Only one person on that thing was dumb, and that's the guy who built it. You're a dummy. The other
CEO,
the other four believe the dummy.
They were trusting. Yeah.
Not your fault.
Yeah.
Dummy, that man, he's dumb. He's a dummy. You went down underwater as a dummy. You are a dummy.
Yeah.
You built BS. Everyone told you, hey, man. When James Cameron calls you, James Cameron don't call nobody. James Cameron, hey, man, I'm looking at the schematics of your Coke can. Probably want to reinforce some of that steel.
Duct tape and hydrofoil ain't going to cut it.
Dummy did dummy things. Dummy died. Dummy cost 4 of the people their lives. And they're calling him an explorer. And I'm like, stop it. He was going to look at a ship.
Right.
Yeah,
that's it.
A sunken ship.
Something that had already been found.
Back samples and let's look at the granular and figure out the evolution and the secrets of sea algae to cure all of the things. Hey, man, give me $250,000. I take down, look at that boat.
Yeah.
It's not an explorer.
Right.
This is on a much more obtainable level. This is something that I have friends and family members that have gotten into where they like to go to abandoned buildings and walk around and act like this is exciting.
Yeah.
Just go, like, they'll go to an old school and they'll be like, look at all this stuff. And they'll take pictures of it and I'm like, yeah, it's just gross.
I follow an account like that. It's called Abandoned Southeast.
Yeah.
And it's just pictures of abandoned vintage buildings
I
across
follow a
the
couple
South.
like that too, yeah.
It's fascinating to look at. But now,
It's
if your
cool in
friends-
pictures, but you might not walk around.
If your friends went into an abandoned building and stumbled upon a drug deal or a pack of Rottweilers and they are mauled to death, were they trespassing and not minding their own business? Or were they brave explorers trekking into the unknown? And I don't like it. And it's the same thing with this space flight thing that happened today. They're calling these people explorers, going out. You're not explorers. People have did that.
You're bored rich people.
You're bored and rich.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You have a right to go look at a boat, but don't tell me that guy was an explorer. Don't tell me he was doing groundbreaking. What's the guy?
Isn't that Magellan?
Yeah, you're not
Vasco da Gama.
You're not going down to the South Pole and exploring, and this is the first person to ever Chuck Yeager.
Bringing back rare spices to the West Indies.
You're not even bringing nothing back from the boat.
Now, let me,
If
here's
it's
the
tourism, it's not exploring.
But here's tourism, right?
Yeah.
Space tourism. But here's what I'll say. A hell of a lot of people have died by drowning in the ocean. Not a lot of people have died in space. So if something were to go awry up there, it's a little bit of a bigger deal. You go, well, he went out the hatch.
Yeah.
He's out there floating still. Didn't implode or whatever. But yeah, space tourism or any underwater tourism. I think you're right.
I'm telling you now.
It's rich, bored people. It's like this guy, you know the name Crown from Chicago. Very prominent family in Chicago. The Crown family. Billionaires. Their names are on buildings, okay? This dude, this past weekend, one of the Crown guys, on his 70th birthday, he's racing a car, hits a wall, dies, okay? This guy never worked a day in his life because it's all his dad's old. The family made their fortune on like sand in the 19th century and building materials when Chicago was still being built, right?
Yeah.
So this rich dude hits a wall on his 70th birthday and dies. And there are all these, it's like this guy was bored. Because if you have money, that much money, and can have whatever you want, what can possibly thrill you anymore? What is thrilling to you? You've got to go under the water or into space, and you call them what you want. I think you're right about the tourism thing, but it's like, if you are that wealthy, you're desperate to be thrilled by something.
The one rich death they got right in terms of the media was Steve Fawcett. And they called him an adventurer.
Right.
And I go, that's
an adventurer.
That's the job.
Right.
He died it's like some small single craft in the mountains or something. It took him months to find the crash site or whatever, but he was just rich and just built himself an air scooter.
Yep. An air scooter.
But I mean,
like it was like a small little single engine, like super tight little thing.
He would go up in like a weather balloon and try to go around the world. And right.
So that's adventurer.
Yeah.
But that's not exploring. He never came back with new data about the jet stream.
And I don't think he killed other people with him either. He would go up and, an adventurer.
That's a more
adventure
fitting
tourism.
occupation. I just don't like the use of the word explorer. There are very few explorers. There are very few brave people that go out into a real unknown situation. Which one would y'all choose? Let's get dark for a second.
Yeah.
Yep.
Deep space or deep blue ocean? Which
Space. I'm not a strong swimmer.
Which
one?
one?
Well, if you're going to deep, it doesn't matter how strong a swimmer you are in deep ocean. You're not swimming.
No. What I'm saying is I would not want to drown in that way, where there's simply no possible way of rescue.
Yeah.
Space, I don't know. I can
There's
hold my breath.
I'm
for
choosing,
it.
I'm
a lot.
choosing space.
You're choosing space?
I'm choosing space. Here's why.
All right.
Because my body is still out there floating.
Yeah.
Like, even if the spacecraft, like, you know, like in Star Trek, when like the one guy gets sucked off the thing when the torpedo hits the thing, and he's just doing flips in space.
They shoot Spock out. Yeah.
He's still doing flips right now.
To infinity.
That person is still out there. And sooner or later, the technology will be in place where they can come and retrieve my body and I can get a proper burial back on Earth. Ocean, you're gone.
You're
Well,
gone, but
because
your food though, at least you're you're turned back into
Circle of life.
circle of life type of
Right.
thing.
Well, yeah.
I
you
mean,
go back into
it's
the
something-
earth.
and also, what priority are you going to be if they lose you in space? Like, I
You're
mean,
debris for the rest of your life.
you're debris for the rest of your life, but like, no one's finding you.
Put a beacon on
Like,
you
there's-
before you go out.
Put a but they're like, we can go get Roy, or we can try and like, if we go get Roy, we're gonna die too.
Right.
Put me underwater.
But I think you're talking about when the technology advances to
Also,
the
I
point
don't like
where it
when-
wouldn't be this massive task.
I hate
you know?
both of them because I don't like when my ears pop. So either way,
Oh yeah.
I'm not an adventurer. I'm not an explorer. Like if I had that kind of money where you can just go do whatever you want, I don't need anything like racing or anything like that.
No, I'm
just gonna,
fine on terra firma,
yeah,
man.
I'm gonna learn how to build things out of
I
wood.
would do nothing. If I was that rich, I wouldn't. You would never hear from me again.
Right.
I wouldn't even do philanthropy. I'm
You wouldn't
I'm
be-
scared.
Yeah,
I'm scared to come and pay for college tuition for kids.
wouldn't do
I'm
anything. But
scared.
you already do stuff like that.
Like,
Don't.
yeah, I do,
Yeah.
but I'm also not rich, so I need the reputation points to get into heaven.
For the clout. Yeah.
Yeah, I give out VR headsets
Yeah.
to underprivileged baseball teams in Alabama.
Yep.
I help with fighting the school to prison pipeline with charities.
That's good.
Yes, I do.
Right.
But also, if I was rich, I would build a grocery store and I would build a Best Buy on my property,
Yeah.
and that's it.
That's
and
it.
I would. There was an episode of Atlanta.
So you give yourself like something to go and like stroll around.
The
in,
wood
and
compound.
be like, oh,
Yeah.
today I'm gonna get this.
Have you ever seen that video of when Michael Jackson bought
Yeah.
out the grocery store?
Yeah.
So he could feel like
feel like a regular person for a
to
day?
just grocery shop for it?
Yep.
That would be me. I would have my own grocery store with employees. They would work shifts.
Oh, you'd staff the place, not just have food delivered.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay
Yeah,
for it. Like
I
it's
got
my,
you. Yeah.
it's my. I own this grocery store.
Yeah.
So
Roy's General Store.
Yeah, I would just have a Walmart or Target, Harris Teeter.
And you gotta have it mimic real life. So sometimes they gotta be out of stuff.
Yeah,
Because you gotta be
Wait,
excited for when it is finally in.
Yeah.
So be like, oh, you guys are out of
that.
you don't have any Philadelphia rolls today. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow.
I'll be
Yeah,
back.
I'll be
That's
back
Roy's
tomorrow.
HEB over there. We gotta. So where would this compound be?
And I'm not telling you.
Upstate? Yeah. All right.
You got to go Montana somewhere. You got to go to one of them homestead.
We're going to Montana this fall. We're gonna ride
Feds
some
show up
horses.
to see what you're doing, and then you pull
Yeah.
a gun on them. Then they
Oh.
go, hey, hey, hey,
Hey.
hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
One of those states. You got to go one of them states where you can get in a standoff with the government and live.
Uh-huh.
You're going to Montana in the fall?
Yeah, we
And
are.
riding horses? Oh,
In
you-
September.
All
Yep.
right, don't-
they have
don't-
like ranch spas.
Don't
and we're
get
gonna ride
kicked
horses.
off a horse and end up having to be
Paralyzed?
Yeah, Christopher Reeves over
Bro,
here.
I almost got thrown off a horse in Montana on a Daily Show piece.
Were you really?
We were shooting outside of Helena. We were meeting the mayor of Helena, who's like a really cool immigrant. It's a interesting story of like a black immigrant mayor in a county that Trump won.
Yep.
But they care about local politics, so they really do choose who they like.
Wilmot Collins.
Yeah, Wilmot. So I'm on the horse. Wilmot and I are riding together.
Where is he from?
Somewhere
Liberia.
Yeah, Liberia.
Okay, wow.
It was somewhere war torn.
Yeah.
Somewhere where they were shooting, and he was like, "Take me to the quietest
Yeah,
place."
get me to
Somewhere
Montana.
Yeah.
I will hang out with rednecks.
What's the exact opposite of Monrovia? Probably Montana. I mean, they've got
Perfect.
some of the same letters.
So we have a cameraman that's in the that's just out in this big clearing, but he's wearing this like black hood over his body so he can see the
screen,
viewfinder of the
Mhm.
camera. To the horse, it looked like a bear. And so
Oh,
as
wow.
the cameraman is creeping closer to get a better shot, the horse is just freaking out and doing like
You're on the horse.
I'm on the
Yeah.
horse. And then the other horse handler person way 50 yards off because they can't be in the shot.
Right.
Just talk to him. Talk to him. And I'm like, stop. Like, I don't know.
Whoa.
Hey, horse, that's not a bear.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to do all
Kevin.
those calming. Oh. Like you're supposed to basically.
Hey,
I don't
girl.
know. Yeah, you're supposed to be basically like talking to a horse is like foreplay sounds.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Want these
Come
oats?
on, come on. But I'm freaking out. The horse is freaking out, and I almost got thrown off. And that literally was the one thing in my mind. Hot air balloons and horses. Those are the two.
Well, 'cause
things
you have
I'm
to
just
learn-
Not a fan of.
You have to learn how to fall off a horse, they say. They're like, but you're like, how often am I on a horse to learn how to do that? And also, if you've never been on a horse, It's something that you know, but then you get on it, it's all muscle. They're massive, massive animals.
It's a missile.
That's why I'm like, how are they on these spindly legs? Because like back in April, we went out to Sedona. We went to Arizona for a few days and took our daughter, who's 7, and we did this horseback through the mountains thing. And it's 7 and up, so she had her own horse.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, listen, this is a touristy thing. You have guides with you, but you're still going through the mountains, and they're going through these rocky passes and things like that. And I'm like, the horses know what they're doing, but all they have to do is slip once accidentally, right? And either I go over, my kid goes over. So it's like it's hard to enjoy something like that fully when you're like, these horses, man, I mean, I just couldn't get my head around like the spindly legs and the giant, giant bodies. Did it rear up? Were you like a Hi-O Silver type thing?
No.
It was just starting to buck.
It was starting to buck and starting to backpedal a little bit, and then the cameraman backed off. But I've ridden a horse twice, both times for work. And I just don't know if it's something I would ever do recreationally.
I was going to say, you'd never do it in any other circumstances.
What do you think makes you look more like a badass, being really good at riding a horse or really good at riding a motorcycle? Because like I feel like if you're good at a horse and you can get it to buck up and you can stay on it and you're in control like that.
Yeah, that's some manly.
That's some manly stuff. But if you can, I always think of the scene. You remember the Bruce Lee biopic where what was it? Dragon or something like that, but there's a scene in the rain where he's riding a motorcycle. He rides away from this girl, and then in the rain, like flips the bike around and comes flying back and like does the skid,
does the spin, yeah.
And you're just like, man, that like it's not even like
Just
the biggest bike or
controlling
thing,
the machine.
but just controlling the machine, and it's just so badass. Like those two moments are like burning my head, where I'm just like I should ride a motor, but like that's not how you get to ride a motorcycle all the time.
No,
that's just like a movie magic thing. But the horse thing, I think, being able to really like control a beast is there's nothing like it.
Yeah, God bless the people that do it. I've covered rodeos for the show and just seen people do like all this speed riding around, the barrel racing.
It looks like a rodeo looks like everyone should come off paralyzed.
Yeah.
Like everyone,
Yeah, I'm not even talking about bull riding.
Right.
We're just talking about just rodeo, just bareback riding and just hog tying calves and all of that stuff. So you have to ride this horse, park it, jump off, and then do something new.
Yeah.
There's no kickstand on a horse either.
No, it's like the biathlon or something. Roy Wood Jr. is at Hilarities this weekend. It's been a while since he's been here. Who knows when he'll come back? So don't miss these shows. You can go to pickwickandfrolic.com, find him on social media, go see, just watch it at home. Watch Confess Fletch, because it's very, very fun.
Paramount Plus.
And it's always good to see you. Don't be a stranger.
I won't.
And
I'll continue to come here and do this show regardless of where I am in my career.
Big you get.
Until I'm rich enough to build a Best Buy on my Montana
Will you let us come visit the Best Buy?
Dude, Best Buy can't even build Best Buy.
Yeah.
You can come by my radio station on my compound.
There you go.
and do the show.
WROY, everybody. The sound of the. All right. Good to see you, pal. Thanks
All
for
right,
coming in.
Thank you.
Hey, yo. Let's do it again. iHeartRadio's Living Black is back. A celebration of all things black.
Celebrate the culture.
With performances by Usher, Miguel, Glorilla, Coco Jones, NLE Chopper. It's so much more than a concert. It's an experience that highlights and celebrates blackness. Featuring special appearances by LL Cool